I'm excited for our guest, Morgan Simpson, host of podcast What's Running You, and family friend of mine for 25 years, 30 years since I've been born. So it's going to act like big brothery. I feel it. I feel it coming on.
Good.
This podcast called Sweat Equity, about pragmatic entrepreneurial advice and dick jokes. #1 arbitrary rated business comedy podcast. I'm your host, Law Smith. Sitting next to me trying to flex is Eric Redinger.
I'm just trying to be taller than you.
Low-key flex is what the kids say, right?
You're going to get Morgan's going to big brother you, and I'm going to big brother you, bro. I'm your big brother, bro.
You're my big bro?
Big I am.
You broing me, bro? You can listen to us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Laughable app, YouTube, Facebook, Vimeo, LinkedIn, your mom's Walkman. This episode is brought to you by the fanciest sportswear out there called Rhone, R-H-O-N-E. Try Rhone.com/sweat. Get you 20% off using the link or using the promo code BRIDGE20. Look, you want the dry fit apparel of 10 years ago is fine. Nike Pro Combat, all that stuff. Under Armour 20 years ago was revolutionary. Rhone's going to be that next brand that comes up.
Exponentially better.
They're going to step it up. You want to look sharp. You want to have the upper end, high end sports apparel. Try Rhone.com/sweat. 20% off. Or use the promo code BRIDGE. Like a Brooklyn Bridge, BRIDGE20.
A Brooklyn Bridge.
Like a
Any
Brooklyn.
one of them.
Yeah, any of them. That's our main sponsor of this episode. Our featured sponsors are ExpressVPN. Try expressvpn.com/sweat. Gets you 3 months free off an annual subscription. Get your anonymous, protected line out to the internet so no one knows what you're looking at.
You're not doing anything bad. It's peace of mind.
Grasshopper business phone line. Try grasshopper.com/sweat. $75 off an annual plan. Have an app on your phone. That's your business phone line. Don't be a jabroni with a Google Voice number. FreshBooks. Go freshbooks.com/sweat. Get you a 30-day free trial on that accounting software. Do your invoicing. Do your taxes. Do everything within FreshBooks. And I'm a user. I'm not only a supporter of it, I'm a member. And then Warby Parker trial.
What is that, hair club for men?
Yeah. WarbyParkerTrial.com/sweat. Get you 5 free pairs to try on at home for your sunglasses, your prescription glasses. And then all these links are in the description. They help this podcast move forward. Can I get a hottie toddy?
No, but I'll do
Damn
What
it.
about my sweat equity? Sweat equity.
You look like Chris Kattan.
Sweat equity. My sweat equity. my sweat equity.
Thing where you eat apples. Right?
I know, what was his name? I literally used to do that bit in high school.
What about my sweat equity?
It's the show, man.
Well, I haven't started now, or you know.
You lost all that good stuff?
Yeah.
Man.
All that talk of us talking about how cool and wise we are, missed it.
I listened to your podcast.
There'll be more of that. There will be more of that.
I listened to your pod, man.
Which one you listen to?
I listened to Joel McHale because I've met the guy and I really like him. And I've also seen him do The Soup like 10 years ago per my friend Carrie Ainsworth that used to work at E. And
I love Carrie. Carrie just had her another kid.
Yeah. Shout out to her. She did all the E! True Hollywood Stories. Like, the majority of them, produced them all.
Kind of ruined my life.
And I was like, what's the
Really
saddest?
brought down the tapestry of lies.
She
You know,
told me
I
that-
thought it was things were rosier.
But she told
Everything was beautiful
Carrie,
before that.
now she's got a kid though.
she
Congratulations.
will find you and kill you. That she's alpha like that.
Well, that's what I expect after her producing of those shows.
She did. I go, which one was the saddest? She said the lottery winner one because all of them end up becoming broke. Like
Yeah.
They're all sad, but which one's the saddest?
Which
was
is
like,
the saddest
Yeah,
story?
really, just give it to me.
But she
Where are they? Are they still in L.A. or are they?
I think so. Last I talked to her like a month ago.
Okay. I actually emailed with John not too long ago, but I didn't say, hey, where are you?
And her husband's doing a Huey Lewis musical.
Okay, now
Which
we're
I
talking.
love.
All right, that sounds awesome.
To not
I
bring
want to
it so
say my
inside.
second. It was my third concert, but my first non-Jimmy Buffett concert growing up was Huey Lewis in the News, Ocean Center, Daytona Beach, Florida. Amazing concert.
Dude. Yeah, hell
So,
yeah.
Let's
Dude, it was so good.
I want to
before
hear.
I forget, let's plug your stuff because we'll
Let's
get
plug.
into it. But you have to do your plugs because we don't do that kind of stuff. So you tell
Cannot
the
forget
people.
the Huey and
You tell the
Lewis
people
new- and the
what's
new
what's
play,
running
whatever
you.
it was, musical. Can't
What's
forget
running
that.
you is the podcast.
What's running? I wrote a book called What's Running You, and then I have a podcast called What's Running You. I only can use one title at a time.
Branding.
So I have a book and a podcast. Check it out. It's been a lot of fun. I was just editing an episode right before I came on here. So yeah, it's been great.
And you can get
And I did a
Redemption
podcast
Road.
on failure. Yeah. Originally, I've done acting and writing and
Stripping,
that kind of stuff. Yeah, a lot of nudity
a lot of dom.
and
A lot of shameful times.
a lot of shame. That shame drove me to writing a book. No, and then I did a podcast on failure and just had an idea for a book, so I put that out and then started a new podcast on it and still writing and doing other stuff.
So what did you learn about failure? Because this show's basically that's one of the main themes. Is kind of hustle advice.
Not to mention the last solo podcast I did was about failure.
So-
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Big time failures.
Learn. I mean, you learn from
Divorce,
failure.
whatnot, like big time. Like
Yeah.
haven't done that before.
Eric's what you
Yeah.
call on tilt right now. If you're playing poker.
When Eric goes, he goes big.
I'm going for the fences, baby. 3 true outcomes.
What's it called? Yeah.
None of them good.
Welcome to the divorce club. It's fun. So, when are you getting divorced? Okay, so, and Heather, your wife, didn't want to show up. Who's a commercial actress, acting in a bunch of stuff as well.
Yeah. She's an act. She's been she does a bunch of acting, a lot of commercials and some theatrical. She does theatrical stuff as well. So she's but no, they're not here. I'm actually here. I just have my 5-year-old here. They had to. They are on the other side of town right now, but they will be back. There's getting a little exercise.
Oh, dude. What do you even have
They
clothes
were
on
meeting
right now?
friends. They were social distance meeting friends at Lake Hollywood. Do you remember Lake Hollywood?
No, is that where you meet other men in the bushes? Oh wait, that's different.
Yeah.
I'm confusing. There's stuff after comedy shows.
The Lake Hollywood exit.
I heard they were networking things.
But I'm here with my 5-year-old, so she may bust in here.
Oh, cool.
Any
I got
moment.
one of them. That's cool.
You guys got kids all over the place.
They're totally like understanding of your life.
Boundaries. Yeah, I was just
boundaries,
saying.
whatever.
Just saying, you should. I've been tricking my kids to wear masks and telling them that's how they become ninjas, and that's been working.
Yeah, dude.
That's
that
a great idea, actually. That's a
Dude,
smart
that's
idea.
exactly what I said. I was like, oh, okay, that is good. I'm going to use that.
And
I got a
then-
kid good.
We've got a lot of ninja talk now. We've got a lot of
Dude,
like,
you can't beat ninjas. I still love ninjas.
do you want to be Batman or not kind of stuff going on.
Hey, yeah, that's a good call.
Ninja Turtles playing on purpose around the house a lot more.
Sure, yeah. I mean, you
know,
have to be like,
Man, I love all the. Did you guys ever see any of the ninja movies from the 80s?
yeah.
Like Revenge of the Ninja,
Well,
9 Deaths of the Ninja.
Whoa, no.
those sound like deep
that
These
whole
are-
ninja movies.
easy, David Carradine. We're born in,
There's
we're
I'm
born in
actually
84,
fascinated.
83, 84.
I know. But I saw movies in the 70s just because I wasn't born. I saw The Godfather.
Yeah,
Sure, yeah.
it's a good point.
I was thinking more like 3
The
ninjas.
Godfather and Revenge of the
Surf
Ninja.
ninjas.
Was that a good parallel?
That's
No, there
pretty-
was a company in the 80s, Canon Films. Did you guys ever hear? They made like Cobra, Over the Top.
Okay,
and
I know
these
Cobra.
awesome
I know
ninja
Over the
movies.
Top. Yeah, okay.
And a movie I loved called Making the Grade with Judd Nelson. Come on.
Yeah. No,
Preppies, there's about preppies.
we're trying to yes and this.
Yeah, and
You guys have no idea what I'm
he's
talking
he's a
You guys
ninja.
remember the Harry Potter movies? Or those?
Judd Nelson was in those.
See, that's
and,
way
he's a
past
ninja.
us. Like, Harry Potter was, you'd be too young.
Perks
yeah.
of a Wallflower. What do you? I don't know. What's y'all's movies?
Well, I was saying like 3 ninjas, surf ninjas, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not as hardcore. I don't remember what it was like. spinal surgery ninjas. I don't remember what you were saying. It sounded more hardcore than what we were doing.
These were all the Sho Kazugi, if I'm saying his name right,
Gesundheit.
ninja movies. You gotta check these out. You should go watch Revenge of the Ninja right now.
Okay, well,
Okay,
all right.
yeah.
We'll come
We're
right
writing
back
it
down.
down.
Pause.
Yes, you can then zoom me back. Call me back after that, after you watch.
Well, we'll have a part
We'll
2
talk
just
about
about that.
about Revenge of the Ninja.
Well, tell us about failure. What was the the gist of what you kind of learned about writing about it?
Actually, I mean, I had the idea for the book before the podcast, but I think the podcast helped solidify the idea in my mind. But I think failure, I think it's part of the stepping stone to it's how we learn, it's how we grow, and it's really painful. I don't want to step over the pain part of it, but I do think it's literally how we grow as people. So it's painful, but there's no avoiding it.
Yeah.
So I think if you can look for it as a change your mindset about it a little bit. It's not to mean it's not painful, because I don't want people to be like, well, it's nothing, Although we did interview people who had that kind of mindset where it's just like they didn't look at it that way, which it is painful for me, So it's.
But from the get-go, did they have that attitude? I feel like you get that attitude.
Did they have 100
after
failures, and it's just like
you're like,
I can't keep on with this.
I used to do auditions, commercial auditions, and you'd be like, "How are you doing with them?" When I was living in LA, and I'm like, "They're fucking terrifying to me." And you're like, you get on stage and do stand-up. I'm like, "Yeah, but I bombed there a lot," and so you don't give a shit anymore. But I'd walk into these commercial acting, auditions, and I'd be like, oh man, I got to read out loud, and I don't know how to do it, and like you just don't have any reps, and so I'm sure I'd be like, don't give a shit after 1,000 of those,
Yeah, I still, even after 1,000 of them, I remember I went into one, and I had to sing and dance the Napa Know How song.
Oh my
and
God.
Dance and oh my God, I left there and I was like, what?
Can we talk about how the entire auto
Oh my
parts
God.
industry has a stuttering problem? They got O'Reilly, Napa Know How, and I think there's another one, but those two I think solidifies my point enough.
One?
That's two of them. Two of them count.
You're gonna be getting
It's
on
weird.
stage.
There's only like 4 total.
You're gonna be doing
and half
stand-up?
of them stutter.
You're gonna do the stand-up soon. That's a bit.
No, but
write
off
it
the top
down.
of my fucking head. Come on, give me a break.
If you can find a third one, that you got it. Rule of threes. That's an easy joke right there. Eric's gonna be talking failure on stage soon.
Yeah. There's no rule of twos, Eric. There's no rule of twos.
Yeah. He might be overserved. I don't know.
All right, but back to you guys, what you're talking about. I mean, I think
There's gonna be a third one. I'll come up with it.
I like how you re-hosted the show. You just calibrated.
All right, fellas, let's get back on track here. All right.
but I think there is something where some people, if I'm being honest, I think some people do. You definitely develop that, like, the more you practice, the better you get at something, the more confidence you have, the more you get used to it. And then I think some people actually kind of, a way they deal with not dealing with failure is to, like, put, like, a block up. So it's probably, like, some mechanism not to feel it, to actually the confidence they've built through life, So I think there's just 2 different ways to handle it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a definite thing where it's like some people don't ever think they failed, and it's just where do you cut it off? It's like, okay, official, it's a failure, fine. That's hard to come up with that, like, resilience to be able to accept it. It's not easy to be able to.
We talking the guy that can sell anything kind of guy? The guy, like,
Sure.
I'll be a salesman for anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's an RV or insurance or whatever.
Right.
And then that's the same guy that'll go out when he's single and hit on 100 women.
He's like,
not
whatever.
care. Right.
What's the big deal?
He's like, it's just, you put out the
That's it.
numbers. Just
That's it.
doing numbers.
For me, that's an incredibly zen style of life, to just be able to be like, if I failed at that, I got rejected, no big deal. Like, let's move
Or
on.
sociopathic.
Who cares? Everybody is in a way. Come on.
Well, everybody's a salesman in a way.
Sure.
I would say that.
Yeah.
So, with failure writing it, and the easy joke is, did you feel like you failed writing the book?
How
Well,
did
the
the
book, I
failure
mean-
of writing your book go?
I think that's one of the things I like about the new podcast and the book, though, is I think failure is a piece of it, but it's really kind of more the positive side of it.
Yeah.
Because talking about failure every week was kind of tough. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I think the book kind of is more like how to live, more free and and more yourself and kind of a more abundant life. So I like, so the failure is kind of an aspect of it that can help you do that, to get through it.
Yeah,
but-
failure podcast that's going to be tough to keep up. Like a book that has an
It was
ending.
good. It was like every week was like, it was great, but it was
Sure,
it
you
drained
got
on you a little.
get it out, but then you don't want to be doing that every week. It's like,
Yeah.
How did I feel?
You want to
as a-
get to the other side of it,
Right,
like,
you don't want to be like,
what did that
actually, I had a
lead
pretty
to?
good weekend. I don't want to brag, but like my failure podcast.
Well, I mean, that's another part of it. A lot of people will go, I'm failing, but I'm still doing it, and then you got to kind of figure out when to cut bait sometimes on something you're trying, and that's something a lot of people don't assess correctly.
Dude,
sometimes
that's one of the hardest.
did I
things
really
there is.
try and fail, or did I just go at it and fail, like
Right.
without any real effort behind it? And then
Or
you're
for
just like,
long enough?
well, I'm doing it. I want to be a tap dancer.
Right.
I'm tap
I'm
dancing.
gonna
on the
learn to
street.
moonwalk. I'm gonna figure it out.
I'm going to be the next Gregory
By the
Hines.
time school starts, I'm gonna learn it.
I
Yeah.
just watched Running Scared the other day. You guys seen Running Scared?
Oh, here comes our old bit. Movies Morgan pitches that we probably haven't seen.
I mean, if
This
you
is
bring
a
up
running
Gregory Hines, how do you not know Running Scared?
I don't know.
Gregory Hines, Billy Crystal. All right, write that one down.
Yeah.
Write that one down.
You see it in our invisible ink.
I'm assuming there's a lot of tap dancing.
I don't
They're
have to be
cops.
Fred
They're
Astaire to
Chicago
know.
Are they
cops.
tap dancing cops?
There's no tap dancing.
Oh,
It's great.
okay. Oh, all right.
Any
Either
other
Gregory
movies
Hines you
you
think
want to
tap-
pitch with your gray pubes and gray beard?
I
Just
will.
for
I
men,
will.
that shit.
Put it on the top 10 great pubes list.
You know you're on the
movies
number
watch list.
one business dick joke podcast in the world. So
Great- hashtag
we've
great
Am I?
yeah.
That's
Hashtag-
what an honor.
Hashtag gray pubes. Hashtag girthy ROI. So tell
You love the word girth, I've noticed, by the way. You say girth more than anyone I've ever met.
because it's a word that is a real word, but no one ever really uses it in the real
Aren't
context.
all words real words? What do you mean?
No, of course not.
Okay, what's a word that's not?
All right, here's one from Heather's. Flimglobber. That's not a real word. That's in Heather's. That's yeah.
It's because the word is gross.
Yeah.
It's like the word moist.
Ooh, yeah. But the word
People don't go popping off about girthy, moisty things.
I would get bored in
Makes everyone uncomfortable.
doing analytics for clients, and I just started going like, well, you're having really girthy ROI right here, and just try to let it slide through and see if I can just. You just get bored with a lot of the routine stuff you're doing, so you had to shake it up, and that's how I started doing that. I just think girthy is like that word that only really get people think of why dick, and then.
Well, yeah, it should just be shifted over to that's what it means.
But I read it in a manual.
How wide is a dick?
Like
That's
something
girth.
to put together, like a symbol, and I was
Nobody
like,
else uses.
it's fun. Like you know
just
how it
don't
is.
ever use it.
You get bored with the mundane, and you have to figure out how to make it a
Gotta
little
go
fun.
girth.
You got to make games out of things,
Yeah,
and so you know
got to find the girth.
Sure.
but it's not a bad word.
Girthy.
It's not a cuss word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, dick jokes will never not be funny, and I have a theory that two kinds of people that like dick jokes, and then everybody else that
And everybody
lies.
sucks. Yeah.
Because dick jokes are never not funny.
Yeah.
Even the
All right,
biggest
what's your-
prude.
What's your favorite dick joke?
Oh, don't put me on the spot.
Well, you're talking about
This
it. You
is-
got to have an idea.
No,
you're
I'm
the
a pure
number one.
I'm a pure
You're the number one
conversationalist.
podcast.
Oh yeah, but we're not like writing bits. We're just letting them fly.
Okay.
You know, we're improv.
All right.
We're improv like
Yeah.
no reason boner on the bus when you're like,
This
whoa,
reminds me of a great movie in '83.
called Boners Up, Hose Down. All right, so we got off track because of you.
What
so,
was Mike Seaver's best friend in growing up?
Boner.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I'm
Obviously.
just saying. Just
I
saying.
never watched the show, but I know that.
Yeah. That doesn't just slip through the cracks. What was
So-
that?
So, with the podcast, are you liking that as a format? Because it's kind of ongoing. You're kind of, in a way, a lot of people, we've talked about having our book parsed out from episodes of the show of people we've interviewed, just like that. That whole chunk about dicks, boom, perfect.
Perfect.
People
we got a
can
book.
read that. They need to have that in their hand or their
never
Kindle.
gonna be a book.
But I mean, you can.
No book.
A lot of people
I
are
don't- I-
extracting episodes and putting that together in like a self-published book.
He starts talking
Yeah.
about it, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
sure, buddy.
No, we can't do that as editors or like any part of it. We have to get someone to do it. But I'm saying like You kind of did it the other way around, which is interesting because you have a
The
foundation.
normal way.
And then
Write the book.
have you found yourself liking that better? Like,
You mean having a podcast based on the book?
yeah, or based
Well,
on probably a lot of themes you have in the book.
Yeah, I mean, and it's an interesting podcast because the other one was like conversational style. This is more like I ask the same 25 questions, and the first 10 are kind of, because the book's called What Run You, kind of ideas and beliefs that have run them and how they grew up and ideas they have that kind of run their lives. And then the last 15 are just kind of fun things. So that's kind of nice because it gives me like a kind of an outline to go off after. And I've interviewed some people I know really well. Like I had Nestor Carbonell on last week.
Yeah.
And
he's the mayor of the Dark Knight series.
He is.
And
he is.
Does he wear eyeshadow or whatever?
It's not eyelash.
Very thick
he always looks
eyelashes.
like he has mascara around his eyes.
Good looking
He
man.
does.
To the point where it was the first thing I texted you when I saw he was on the guest list. I was like,
I'm obsessed with his eyes.
it's annoyed me.
A lot of people are though, man. I mean, a lot of people talk about those eyes.
He's a famous actor.
But I was like, is he
That's why
doing the
they-
Johnny Depp? Like, this is what I wear every day,
No,
and just gets away with it. I don't know. I thought that was
I
awesome.
don't know what it is. It's
for
a
him.
magical power that I don't fully understand. But it's cool because he and I have written a lot together. Like we wrote a project and pitched it all around town, and so we spent a lot of time together. So I know a lot about him, but I still learned, about his parents escaping Cuba and his mom not having any of her family with her when she's 14, and just kind of his life and stuff. So it's kind of fun because even people I know, I learn stuff I don't know, and what drives them and what's driven them to be successful. So it's been really fun. I really have enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been great.
Now the real question everybody's waiting for is,
Yes.
what drives you?
What drives me?
Yeah.
I think what drives me is just more girth. That's what I'm going after.
That's the attitude. That's the
talking.
motto.
Mark that, time stamp it.
I think honestly what drives me is just, I think this is my one chance at life, and I want to try to live it to the fullest. I think that's what the book's ultimately about is, living from the better parts of yourself, because I kind of think, we can run ourselves from different ways to say it, your soul, your ego, your authentic self, your inauthentic self. So I think try to live from the better parts of myself and live more fun and free and full is what drives me. Yeah, to get a little bit more out of life and help other people do it as well.
Now, are you still involved? One of the things I knew when I lived out in LA, and you kind of helped me find the Thad's church. That was kind of a nomadic church. Is it still around? Is it still going?
It is. It's you can Zoom on Sunday if you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It actually works really well with the Zoom because they have discussion after the service. So the Zoom actually is people still talk and have a discussion afterwards. It's great.
And you got to go to thads.org, not .com, because that is a gay dick site of plenty.
I think it's a swinger site, isn't it? I don't even know if I've been. I think it's a swinger site.
I'm not familiar
I've tried
with
to show people to come to Thad's when I was living there, and I'd be on my phone. I'd go, "Oh shit!" and like,
Does it stand for something, or is it some guy named Thad?
Thaddeus, he was the 13th apostle. Or something?
He was one of the disciples who.
That's what I meant.
Not much is known about. So
Sixth man.
I paid attention. Look, I go to church still, but I just zone out for an hour, and I'm like, you know what? It's probably good that I just go somewhere
God knows
to
you're
do
just
that.
mailing it in, dude. He knows. Why bother?
I like the community aspect of it. I made a lot of good friends there that I'm still friends with. Saw Mary Kay Place on or Place. I like to call her
Mary Kay Place.
Yeah, I call her Place. But
oh my God, that's the
I
best.
saw her on an episode of Californication I was watching, and I just emailed her and said, "Hey, it's been a while since I talked to you." And
she's great.
She's the best.
She's a great actress.
She's in Big Love. You've seen her in a bunch of stuff. But you'd be like, "Oh,
another great '80s movie, The Big Chill." She's in The Big Chill.
Duh. Yeah, we love The Big Chill. We were just watching it. But that
It's a great movie.
We were watching Stripes before you guys got here. I don't know if you
See,
talk
there
about
you
80s
go.
movies.
I'm
Classic.
gonna be scared if you guys haven't seen like Stripes and Vacation.
Oh,
and
no,
all that. I'll
We've
have a
got
heart
the
attack right
basics
now.
checked off.
I know
We're good on
one,
the basics, but
one non-professional thing you were doing was something like that, like helping that church out, getting it going, or are there other things that you're finding fulfilling that kind of call it almost leverage motivation in the other things you're doing? Like I find the more I do, the more I can do kind of thing. Like if everything's kind of humming and I'm getting shit done, I can do a lot more in a weird exponential way.
Yeah. I think that's definitely part of it. And it's like you said, it's a great community. It's nice to kind of help out and help their kind of purpose and mission. So it's been a good experience.
I thought you handing out headshots was pretty tacky, but you got a network.
Depends on how you look at it. I mean, it is Hollywood, so tacky.
Dude, you got hustle.
It was like the best church band because it's all like badass musicians in their own right.
I still have no idea what you're talking about.
This is the church we were going to, and
But
so
it's just like a
they're
Christian,
like a brass. Yeah, but they would play.
Non-denominational.
You'd
How
walk
is
in,
it?
they'd be playing like some blues or something like some old New Orleans style kind of thing that you're like, you'd have to have 10 talented musicians to do it, and they had usually that on hand.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I
brought
it's
people
really
that are
good.
agnostic as friends to go check it out.
Oh, I mean,
they would love it.
That's what's interesting about it. I mean, technically, it's an Episcopal church. I'm Episcopalian. It's what's it? I think it's called a mission station technically of the Episcopal Church in Los Angeles, but it's very non-liturgical for Episcopal. So it's like we have discussion and like people believe all over the place. They believe, don't believe, whatever. It's a place just to come and explore what you believe and talk about it in a place where people are interested in talking about it. But the music is real tough, actually. I think religious music's tough, man.
Yeah.
And they do a great job because,
the worst,
like you said, they're talented musicians and they kind of have it doesn't have that, for lack of a better word, cheesy feel to it. Like they're just,
because they played real songs. They didn't play these like every Christian songs like Jesus, I love you, Jesus. Like those are the lyrics to almost every Christian rock song. But when you walk in, you see the drum set behind the glass. You're like, oh boy,
right?
And then like that one guy that's true of himself on the acoustic.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a camp counselor forever kind of guy.
It's very, very literal lyrics. It's very literal.
I've been to a lot of different kinds of churches, and the kinds that might have a more musical approach to things. I'm way more into that. I went to Catholic school till I was done with high school. Yeah. And dude, I get it. After 3 years, I get it. I don't need this. You're just repeating the same shit over.
Right.
But like, give me some energy. Okay, fine. Like I'm not big on gathering on things like this, but that I get.
And you can cover a Nine Inch Nails song, make it not dark, and the lyrics could still kind of apply to whatever you want it.
I don't even need. I just need the positive energy sort of thing. Like,
I think I'm thinking of that because of Johnny. You were playing Johnny Cash a little bit ago.
Yeah.
That one song Trent Reznor wrote.
Yeah.
And produced.
Yeah, and he retroactively made it.
Yeah. So, what else? What's on the horizon? I want to make sure we're on time. We only try.
I like the way that you're half on screen, halap off. By the way,
I know, and
we're
I'm
technically
efforting to get out more, and I'm like, and I told him before we started, I was like,
wait a minute. So on your screen, we're half on, half off, but on the real camera behind you, we're fine. We're full.
No, just you is like, now you're good. See,
is that better?
Everybody will still be able to see it because I left the little window up.
It's perfect.
But as a host, you should be paying attention to that screen and that screen. All you have to do is just be floating, dog.
You guys are fancy with all your screens, man. I'm impressed. You guys look at your mics. You guys
I'm over it.
We've been doing it for a while. I mean, the video aspect is tricky, but you gotta start figuring out how to get your guests on video. Mascara.
What other have you just done Zoom, or have you tried other things? Or I've been doing Zoom, and it's worked.
Zoom's the best so far.
Okay.
We've got live stream studio equipment or software that we use that has its own sort of thing, like sort of a link that a guest can call in, but it's not up to snuff yet. For whatever reason, I don't know why they even offer it, because it's like delayed and but
Vimeo
Zoom,
bought live stream and our camera company Mevo, the one that kind of can follow faces. When we used to use it that way. But now we have a little bit better setup But yeah, it for whatever reason,
There's not a lot of choices, like
Yeah.
for what we're trying to do, really, like to get the full screen interview. You know, like there's not a lot of.
I like this though. I like this. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
this is good.
Oh well, yeah, it's like
Why
gangster
give
lean.
everything away?
Why not make them want more? You know.
Why do
Just
you have
leave them wanting more?
four guitars hung up when you don't play at all? What a poser!
I don't know. It just looks badass though.
It does. It does.
Yeah. That's actually from Redemption Road. That one. That's the one he plays that he found.
That's the movie he starred opposite Michael Clark Duncan. You wrote it? You didn't? Mario Van Peebles directed?
Wow.
He directed it. Luke Perry was in it.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Those
Wow.
guys. Tom Skerritt. Yeah, it was a great experience. But yeah, that's from that.
In New Orleans?
We shot in Nashville.
And you wore a fedora that looked like it just landed on top of your head? Like it never looked like it sat correctly? This is my Asperger's kicking in.
It was
so
the style. Dude.
you should have let me
Yeah,
go through,
yeah.
be on set and just go.
That was like 100 hats in. I was the only one that didn't look crazy on me. That's what's sad. And
Yeah.
it still looked crazy.
It looked like it floated. It looked like
Yeah.
like almost a
That
yarmulke.
was the look. Are you saying hats aren't supposed to look that way? I don't understand.
It looked like there. It looked like it should have belonged in a smaller hat that you should be wearing, like a Russian doll.
All right, tell me about Brady and Tampa. How we feeling? I'm excited. What are we thinking?
Are you a Tampa fan? Do you
Yeah.
even care?
I do
Were
care.
you born in here in Tampa, in Cigar City, the Big Guava?
No. I lived there second, third, and fourth grade, and then high school.
Yeah, those are the important years.
Yeah, well, we had season tickets at high school. Great sig in the old Sombrero.
Yeah,
For
man.
y'all's time.
When it,
I went
bullshit.
to the old Sombrero, dude.
I went to,
I went to the
game
last game.
Yep.
Detroit
Yeah, we had
Lions
the-
playoff
Did you
game.
really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
where
We had the
dude was
greatest season tickets.
breakdancing on the awning.
Yeah.
It was like a tarp awning, and he was like
Yeah.
breakdancing, like this guy's gonna slip off, and then he goes. Whoop.
Yep.
Back when fishermen had the first row seats, drunk fishermen would spend all their money
Yes.
on the season tickets, like the good fans.
Those were the days, man.
I love those guys and those benches.
Yeah.
And so if
Yeah.
you
Bleachers.
Oh
You
my god, I
stood
can
up
feel
and-
that bench right now.
Oh.
Just
Roasting
stretched for like
your
an hour to get.
ass. Just,
you used to
I
throw
talked to
D-cell batteries when we were really bad.
that was Philly. You didn't.
No,
do
people
that.
used to do that.
You
man,
didn't
at
throw
those
any
games.
D-cell batteries. You so
That-
full of shit.
That was the thing, man.
You didn't do that.
I didn't do that. No.
I talked to one of my good buddies who lives in Tampa. So I talk to him all the time, and he reminds me that I keep bringing up the new uniforms. He's like, "You must really love these new uniforms," but I didn't like the last ones that much.
The alarm clocks?
No.
You didn't like those?
Yeah, I think that was a lot of it. You like when I do just the
Yeah.
the numbering was
Wait, show
weird.
us
I'm
again?
excited about these new
It
ones.
might have
though.
looked better on you. Just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe
What,
things
but what do you
would've
got?
gone
What's
different.
the what's the word there? People
those,
excited?
Those were the worst.
So much like a kind of a maligned fan base where you're just like everybody that's kind of a fan or the 8 real fans I'm friends with, Eric's one of them. All of us are kind of in that this would be the year we get like this super team.
Tom
and then-
Brady will not play
and
a
then
game
COVID happens
for
and we're not
Tampa
gonna have a
Bay
season.
ever.
So everyone's in that
It'll
mindset.
be.
Yeah.
We'll have some drunk assholes who get because this has already happened where people keep driving up to his dock and and hollering at him, giving him a hard. It'll be the year that he's like, I'm retired. I'm done. Like I can't believe that would be the most Tampa thing ever. If we're so white trash, we can't just fucking leave the guy alone.
He
And
hired-
bother him on his dock, and he's like, dude.
It is weird
no.
though because
Well, everybody knew he's in St. Jetersburg on Davis Island.
Right?
So
Yeah, but
it's weird because that's where I lived about a block from there when I was in second, third, and fourth grade on
Whoa.
Bosworth
Whoa,
Street.
whoa, okay.
That's
right.
a humble brag.
But it wasn't that like now it's real fancy now. I don't but it's right there. It is you can come in here if you want. You can come say hi.
Yeah,
But
come on in.
it is very accessible. I'm surprised at how accessible it is. You want to say hi? Hi. Okay, I'll be right out. Okay, I'll come help you in a second. I told y'all. You're gonna see a
Have you had your balls snipped?
huh?
Is that the last child? Is that your last child?
This is our last child.
Have you had it?
She's amazing. Yeah, we're done. We're shop is closed. We're good.
Yeah.
Have you? You're too young for all
no,
that.
I want to.
I did, but I'm gonna open it back up
Oh my god,
at 10 times the price.
that's and 10 times the
Actually,
pain.
timestamp that. I might need to cut that out. That might be a problem.
That might be too much. That might be too much.
He's still in the middle of it. So you could timestamp that if you
That
want.
is a true fact, though. It costs
Here, I'll
10
be right
times
up.
more
I'll be
to
right
get
out.
it
Love you.
reversed.
Yeah, we're almost done. The one thing we always want to ask everybody is, what's the advice you give your 13-year-old self?
My 13-year-old self.
You can travel back in time, Bill and Ted style, with the phone booth, and you see
I
your
would just
13-year-old self wearing, creamsicle Bucks gear. And
I would say, just start using the word girth more early.
I mean,
There's
beat
gonna be
Law
this guy,
Smith
Law
to the
Smith, in
punch.
the future.
Beat Law Smith to the punch. He won't know what to do.
Turn it into the Back to the Future episode about jerking off and the word girth.
Yeah.
No. I think I think what I would do. I mean, this is probably too out there, but what pops into my head
Never.
is because it's a little weird. But I think I would tell myself, look, your brain is designed to protect you and keep you safe and to find fearful things. You don't have to believe all those things.
Yeah.
It's just doing its job.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that's something I think about a lot now. It's like my brain is just trying to keep me alive. It's trying to find stuff, but you don't have to believe that story. That's a little confusing, but
No, that's
No,
really
we get
kind of
it.
hitting home right now. That's interesting, really.
I mean, you can go macro on like a news scale to give you anxiety, which a lot of people are having now. When
yeah,
you're like,
I mean that's the way I feel. Like our brain is designed to so if you see like a lion or something, now so it looks for stuff all the time, and now you open the news and you see it all, and so
it's like a separation of what you're feeling from what you the whatever it is that's feeling that take a step back, and that's really hard to do, like to be like, okay, this person is feeling that.
Or professionally, you can talk yourself out of doing something additional or doing something different or doing something off the beaten path, because it's not the way it's supposed to be done, and you go, well, but people don't assess risk really well in the professional
and that's why I like
way.
what Eric said, though. I think a part of it is just being able to step back from it and just look at it and be like, then making a decision based on that instead of making that it make the decision for you. Just separate it from a little bit and be like, all right, that's good. Thanks for doing your job there. Nah, you're making that up.
Right. I've got this feeling. All right, what is this feeling?
Yeah.
Why is this feeling?
Yeah.
Is it necessary to address this right now, or am I fucking being nuts? Am I just all these things that it's so hard to do that. I'm not gonna lie, we can sit here on a podcast and pretend like we're and it's like
But I think it's something you can practice. I think you have to fight. It's going to happen all day long, but you can practice to kind of just be a little more conscious of that a little quicker.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, yeah, the unanalyzed life isn't worth living, or whatever that statement is, and it's that thing of a lot of people don't self-assess every day. It's something I try to work on now, because when shit was going bad at home, it was like I wasn't doing that, and so your instincts are bad, and then you make bad decisions.
It's very easy to make your life about I'm this thing that's getting divorced, and I've got to do this paperwork, and I've got to do all these things that
right. And then you can
some
overdo it.
30,000 miles up, whatever they say, is like, who gives a shit? You didn't do your paperwork, who cares?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, that is a unique answer. We haven't heard that, so that's good.
That's what I'm bringing, Law.
That's
what
what we want to hear, dude.
Uniqueness.
I
and
love
Heard
it.
the answers.
And some nipple play. Don't think I didn't see that when you talked about
I feel like this
it's a little, your
accentuates it.
daughter's right there. It's a little much.
My whole crew just came in too.
This isn't OnlyFans.
Yeah, good. Bring them in.
Fans only?
Ensemble.
You hear
ending.
everybody?
Yeah, it's great.
Here they come.
Well, your duty's let go. Thank you for coming on, man.
Man, such a pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate
Thank
you guys
you,
are
man.
awesome.
It was really fun.
Good to see your
Thank
dumb
you.
face.
Epic last.
Yeah.
And with that,
and I'm out. Take a top back. Thank
See you guys.